So another reason why the power company is ripping you off, and this is a reason that matters to me a lot because I'm currently involved in this industry, is how the power industry, your power company, and their cohorts actively and repeatedly and constantly attempt to thwart, to stop, to diminish, to slow down the growth, propagation, and the installation of solar energy systems for residential customers as well as commercial. In every chance they get, this is per my experience, as I have seen it over and over again, the power company downplays the potential, the power, and the reach of solar energy. They almost always, very often, belittle the utility and the accessibility of solar energy, which is ever growing. The accessibility of solar energy has grown exponentially the last 15 to 20 years. The price, the cost for both installation and equipment has dramatically dwindled and plummeted for the last, again, 15 to 20 years. And the power company is just, no big deal, nothing to worry about. Don't listen to the hype, don't get overexcited. And this is their mode operandi. And to no surprise, they would be the last people benefiting from this since they have invested so much in the opposite, the antithesis of solar energy. Solar energy stands for the potential of free energy capture from the sun. Yes, of course, you need the equipment, you need the wiring, the installation, but the actual source, the energy itself, is already here. Falls on us on most locales on Earth within a few thousand miles of the equator on each hemisphere. It falls freely, and this is most of the year in most locales. Some locales get too much sun. I'm talking about the Sahara region. Anywhere near the equator gets enough sun to power any kind of house, business, industry, whatever it is. More sunlight falls on Earth than we can harness in 100 years from now. So the power company basically stands against this because their energy is costly to gain. Therefore, it's justified for them to pretty much charge as they see fit to regain what they've lost and to make money from it. They pay for their energy. To get it is very costly and expensive again, labor-intensive, equipment demanding. It demands tons of energy to get that energy out of the ground. They're having to dig deeper in the oceans, offshores, closer to the shore. They're having to go deeper in the ground. They're having to rely on tar sands, which are a low-quality type of fossil fuel source. And they are, in my opinion, very desperate. Yes, coal is abundant. However, it is dirty, it is polluting, and it causes a lot of problems to the environment. And yes, it produces jobs, it produces income. However, it also produces all kinds of problems and issues. The power companies, mainly here in the United States, they use coal primarily as their fossil fuel to generate energy in a very outdated and obsolete technologies that have been around for 100 years or more in some cases, and pretty much burning stuff to create heat, and then with that heat create steam to turn turbines. I mean, this is old, ancient technologies being used to this day. Dirty as they come and dangerous, causing many deaths, and is something that the power company utterly depends on, and they have a vast network of investments in this industry, and they are not looking to back away from it, not anytime soon, not until the last piece of coal is dug from the ground, until the last drop of oil is extracted from the ground. And this is unsustainable. Not only that, but it's also, again, harmful for all kinds of stuff, including the environment, people, nations, you name it. I have gone into this in some detail, again, in my Living Off the Grid in the City series. Check that out if you have not. So the power company has been reported that the power companies are colluding to, again, downplay and thwart any efforts from the solar energy, wind energy, any kind of alternative energy industry They want to shut it down. More and more, they are themselves the ones in position to heavily invest in these industries. As I have seen Georgia Power here in the state of Georgia, which is a southern power company. And there's a huge conglomerate of power companies here in the southeast. And again, they are heavily investing in solar while they themselves downplay it in every advertisement and every publication that they get their hands on, including their website, which I have seen just lately, and they do everything they can to discourage you from getting solar panels installed on your roof. They will happily invest in their solar farms, their immense and gigantic solar farms, to eventually pass the bill to the customer and just transfer over their source of energy from fossil fuels to solar and keep abusing you, keep the same power structure that they have right now. They want to remain in power, whether it's with solar, whether it's with both fossil fuels and solar, a combination of both alternative energies. It doesn't really matter to them. They are not married to fossil fuels. They just want to maintain power. And that is the purpose of this chat video, to make you aware of this. Power companies are not addicted to oil, even though they depend very much on it. They're not addicted to fossil fuels, even though that is their major and primary source of energy. They will go into any kind of energy as long as they can keep a hold of power. They do not want solar installations to get out of hand. They put limits on the amount of solar energy or solar panels put on roofs by regulation and law in many cases, in many communities, states, cities. They are in bed with city officials, county officials, and state officials. And it is of no surprise, it is not a coincidence that, like here, for example, Georgia Power has their headquarters right in the capital of Georgia, Atlanta. Their headquarters right in the middle of downtown Atlanta, very close to the state capital. And that is to no surprise to me. It shouldn't be to you. It is by design. It is very much a strategic location for their headquarters. They want to be close to where the legislations are being formulated, made, and passed, because they want to have a piece of that pie. They want to have a say, a big seat. Basically, an unelected entity is very much lobbying and making their own rules, their own laws through manipulation, through bribery, let's call it what it is, and through just buying politicians left and right, city officials, you name it. They will do whatever it takes to maintain a grip on you, maintain a grip on power, maintain their existence. They know solar energy on rooftops threatens their existence. Eventually, they can lose enough customers to solar energy to where they cannot operate. And they are utterly and clearly afraid and shaken by this. But don't let that deter you. Remember who the power company is. Remember what they've done throughout the many, many years that you, the poor, the working poor, the lower middle class, the lower class, the middle class, what they have done to you. Don't have pity and mercy for a monstrosity, for a abomination, for a evil machine that basically grinds and eats human flesh. Don't be sorry. Those people that may lose their job if and when the power company loses their grip on you will find other jobs, will find other things to do. It is the machine, the system itself that needs to crumble out of existence, that needs to evaporate into thin air.